has the experience on day one to keep those promises. But in my first 100 days, I'll have more legislative introductions than any member in history. It's about time you had a voice in Congress, not just an ear in Washington. Visit mulattoforcongress.com to learn more on how we will solve our nation's top issues with good policy, not politics. I'm Joe Dallas Mulatto, and I approve this message.
August the 7th at 8:30, Steve Blank, COO of the Centers, will join Adam to discuss mental health services available. Janine Battereau will join the program to highlight the services provided by Beacon Point Campus in collaboration with the Marion County Hospital District. Services include medication-assisted treatment, life skills, case management, and access to resources. Again, that's August 7th at 8:30. News you can use from the Centers and your friends at WOCA, The Source.
David Moore here, running for Marion County Property Appraiser. I believe in faith, family, and freedom. I have over 29 years of experience in the real estate and finance industry. I own a local realty. I have a bachelor's in business and master of arts in leadership. I believe that my education and experience makes me uniquely qualified to be your next property appraiser of here in Marion County. I have both public and private sector experience. For more information, go to davidmoore.com. Political advertisement paid for and approved by David Moore, Republican candidate for Marion County Property Appraiser.
I pick Nick, Republican Nick Nickinen for Property Appraiser. Pick Nick, currently serving you as Assistant Property Appraiser with over 25 years of senior management experience. Pick Nick, the only state certified appraiser in the Republican primary. Pick Nick, to improve service so that you, the customer, can trust your property is appraised fairly and your tax dollars are spent wisely. Pick Nick Nickinen for Marion County Property Appraiser on or before August 18th.
WOCA.
Ocala. Tuesday night, partly to mostly cloudy skies, low 75 to 77. Wednesday, we'll see variable cloudiness with showers and thunderstorms becoming more widespread, the high 87 to 91. Thursday, mostly cloudy, a couple of thunderstorms around in the afternoon. Thursday's high 88 to 90. Friday, mostly cloudy with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm, the high 90 to 92. Saturday, sunshine and building clouds with a shower or thunderstorm possible, the high 90 to 93. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Drew Shannon.
Stay connected with the Centers, in person or telehealth using computer, iPhone, or Android. Phone 352-291-5555.
WOCA.
Ocala.
Welcome back to the show. You're listening to AM Ocala Live, 96.3 FM, 1370 AM. Your host, Adam McKillin, as we welcome you back here as we're broadcasting to you live from the Paddock Mall, streaming live, YouTube Live, WOCA, The Source Radio, 6 minutes past the top of the 9 o'clock hour, moving through this Wednesday. And as we are, it's glad to have him back as On Top of the World here in the studio. I've got Mr. Robert Colen and with his guest, Rebecca Rogers, in the studio to discuss more of what's been going on with On Top of the World and how things have been just a little bit different, but still moving forward. So a pleasure to see you again, partner. Welcome back, and a pleasure to meet you, Rebecca. So glad to have you guys here in the studio.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
It feels a little bit more normal when I've got the guests that I know that I had kind of back in the studio to discuss things that's going on in the community, because that's what we're here for.
That's right. And it's good to be back, and it's been an interesting summer to say the least.
Yeah.
But as schools come back, we wanted to talk about. It's not really what the what On Top of the World is doing, but what kind of what Ken Colen and that's why I brought Rebecca here to talk about the Ina A. Colen Academy, which is something that's brand new that's going to be coming to Marion County, a charter school, and the natatorium, the swimming center. So Rebecca she heads the Colen Family Charitable Trust. And so, Rebecca, we'd love for you to talk about
that. Thanks, Robert, for having me. And good to meet you.
Yeah, you as well.
So we're super excited. A couple weeks ago, the Marion County School Board unanimously approved our contract, our charter school contract, for the Ina A. Colen Academy. That will be coming in August of 2022. We will be welcoming our scholars, grades K through 8th. The Ina A. Colen Academy is a tuition-free public charter school.
Yeah.
Charter schools are public schools. And we begin construction later this year. in the newly master planned community of Colen Township.
Yeah.
So we're super excited about that. Our vision and motto, our mission actually can be summed up in our motto, sharp minds and kind hearts.
I like that.
And that's what we're hoping to do for our students and for our teachers as well, and families that will be involved at the INA Colen Academy. We are really excited. We've partnered with Collaborative Educational Network, a consultant who is, their team has been really well versed in charter schools and how to bring them to a community. So we've been partnering with them. The INA Colen Academy will offer a unique program design based on the whole child. So we believe that academic instruction and social emotional health are of equal value, and if we can educate,
than ever, right?
Yes,
more so than ever, which is everything we've been dealing with.
Absolutely, it's really good that the conversation around social emotional health, particularly for our students, as in this year we've seen they've been taken out of their environments that they're used to, out of their schools, away from their friends, away from their teachers, and teachers as well have really suffered a loss because this is their passion, their goal, their calling. And so what we're excited to bring is a program that will actually educate the whole child, and really for our teachers, professional development so that they are prepared to really engage our children. So we're really excited about that.
Oh, excellent. And with a little bit more of that, I was going to ask what brought this originally to fruition for the idea when we mentioned the Colen Academy. What was the motivation behind bringing all this, to fruition?
So Ina A. Colen Academy, she was Ken Colen, who's the president of On Top of the World. Is his mother. And between Sidney Colen, Ken's dad, and Ina, they always had this passion for education.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that for Sidney, I know he struggled a lot. And so whenever I talked to him, and I spent a lot of time with Sidney growing up, he was always concerned about how well our education system really treated and raised our kids and helped raise our kids and help provide the tools that they needed for a better, to make a productive life.
And that was based on his own experience.
That was his own experience. And he struggled a lot in schools. And Ina was a teacher. Yeah. And she was, this really a strong matriarch for the family and iron will, which was part of our motto. And she really pushed education for her kids and for her students as well. And so when the later parts of their life, they wanted to do something special with their estate and to make it, help everybody. And education was really a strong point of what they wanted to do that they could accomplish to help, thousands and thousands of people as time went by, and really help to make a more productive life and a better life for people. And what more can you ask for?
Yeah.
So that's where that came from. And then Ken was charged with the mission of how to accomplish that goal, and that's where Rebecca comes in and talks about that. That's where she comes in, but that's where she comes in her role to get this off the ground.
Gotcha. So how long has this been a work in progress to get this? Because we're now on, like you said, the fruition of bringing this actually being built, and then, like you said, as 2022. So I'm sure you've been working on it for a while.
Well, so Ken has been thinking about this for a long time, as Robert said. But we've actually probably a little over 13 months, we've really been working on this with our application that was pretty extensive, went through a rigorous process, and informing our board. That's another thing I wanted to speak to. So the charter school will be governed by an independent board. We have a really stellar board that's really involved in our community in all the disciplines, medicine, education, community, development, so law. So we've covered all the bases, and we have a really stellar board that really will be governing the academy. So one of the questions that people ask a lot of times is On Top of the World Communities building a school? The answer is no.
Right.
The Colen Family Charitable Trust is building a K-8 charter school in Colen Township. And again, it's available for all Marion County students, ages K through 8th grade, to attend. And so we want to be clear about that.
Absolutely. And I know that's a big misconception for the ideas that you guys have. It's because of what you have now with On Top of the World that overshadows it, because there's the stipulation of retirement community or active adult community that gets the idea of what you guys are actually doing beyond that. This is all extra so to speak, that you guys are doing within the community for the community. That's not just for adult living, so to speak. So I'm glad you spoke to that, because I know that's when we have discussed it here on air before, and then people have asked me and stuff. They're like, so grandparents who are like raising. I was like, no, this is something. This is different. This is like, a part of what you're doing, like you said, for the community and giving opportunities that they've had before. With when you mentioned Ina. It's fascinating too, and I'm glad you spoke to that, just to clarify a little bit.
Good things beget good things.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
The Colen family has created this wonderful community of On Top of the World.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing, as we say. So for the Colen family to actually extend into a master community of all families, that's not unusual. That's always been their heart.
In terms of location, though, you look at it, so On Top of the World is really off of State Road 200 and Southwest 80th Avenue.
Yeah.
And this school is going to be closer to 38th Street, which is over by the airport.
Right.
And Southwest 60th Avenue, kind of closer to that area, although a little bit more in that open field area. And that's where the pool will be as well. And that's where we're going to be building the Calessa neighborhood as well, which is for the multi-generational families. So, it's really separated. You're right. When people think of it, they think On Top of the World retirement community. But when you physically, you'll look at the location of it, you're going to say, oh, it's really kind of distant from it. I mean, 3 to 5 miles away, really.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm glad you spoke to that, because I know a lot of people out there are like, oh, that makes sense now. I know, okay, I understand it. So with the mention of the school and pool, now it's time to bring up the pool. So, so the idea of the natatorium,
Yes, super excited. So FAST is the name of the center, Florida Aquatic Swimming and Training, and we are really excited. That will be opening in late 2021, early 2022, and that's being built by the Circle Square Foundation in the same area of Calessa. So FAST is going to be a premier aquatics facility. It's going to have 2 50-meter competition pools. The indoor pool is really modeled after the Beijing pool from, I believe that was the 90s, 2008 Olympics, maybe?
Yeah, I don't really remember that one, because we went on a little vacation that weekend, and it was a group of us, and we stayed at this nice little cabin here in South Ohio, but we had the Olympics on, and that's when Michael Phelps was just on point.
Right.
One of the few times he was.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because part of the reason the design for the pool is it's a deeper pool, which is what they had in China, and that actually allows for faster speeds.
Yes.
So those are, swimmers like to have those fast times, so they can come to our facility fast and have their PRs and propel themselves
into
a great...
What's the website for, just so people can see the pictures?
We're going to talk about it. So the website is floridafast.com. That'll actually be launching August 18th.
Although you can see the pictures.
Yeah, you can. So you can see everything. Yeah, it's super exciting. We'll have high-level training, but we'll also have people who want to learn to swim.
Yeah.
And so for our community, everyone's welcome. So from the time you can learn to swim, or you can train for the Olympics. In our facility, that was our goal: is to be a one-stop shop for all things swimming. So all levels. So indoor, outdoor. We'll also have a splash pad for the community. Outdoors, with lounge seating and shade for moms and dads who want to be able to sit in the shade. And
So inside there'll be like stadium seating.
And
then
for
outside,
2,000 spectators.
And outside it's a 50-meter pool, which is the Olympic size, and then a 25-meter kind of an L to it, and that allows for the shorter courses versus the long course swims, which will be great for all kinds of competitions in our community. And
the little bit of pictures that you guys gave me here, which, like we said, you can find on the website, and that's FloridaFast.com. Florida spelled out. Fast.com. And these look absolutely great. And then my favorite is the one here that has the concept of the indoor with you said about 2,000.
It will be able to hold 2,000 spectators. So all levels. Our high school swim teams here will have a home to be able to swim. Lessons, from drowning prevention programs, all of the things, the certifications for lifeguards.
And the nice thing is you can run those lessons year round, because we'll have an indoor pool, which
indoor,
is
outdoor.
Right now at college.
And even the outdoor portion, so that 25-yard pool will have shade over it, so that we can provide lessons for the smaller kids. So that they won't be out in the beating sun, if they need to be. So
you swim, Robert?
Well, not competitively. My kids were on the swim team, though. My kids were all in the Marlins, so my oldest one was really good at it. But they got into other things.
So we're excited. We have a new school and a new pool coming.
Yeah.
I do want to mention the website for the academy. It is IACAFL.org. So IACAFL.org. That is live. Ina A. Colen, Academy, Florida. That is live now. So any information, it's up to the minute. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter. For up-to-the-minute information about the Academy. And then Calessa is My Calessa, and that is spelled C-A-L-E-S-A, pronounced Calessa, mycalessa.com. And that gives information about...
Sure, and My Calessa, or Calessa, will be a neighborhood for all ages.
Yeah.
It's beautiful walking trails, and it's all being laid out now, but it's going to be a beautiful area for walking to school or walking to the swimming pools or walking to your clubhouse and enjoying kind of life outside but feeling safe in the community, and that's really the focus of that neighborhood. So again, that'll be open to all ages, and mycalessa.com is going to be a great place to go look about moving into a new neighborhood.
Yeah. And it does come full circle, I think, for the Colen family, because it is the goal of, it's living well planned and for all ages.
Yeah.
So we're excited about that.
When Sidney Colen first started building houses in Florida in 1947, 1948 in St. Petersburg, there weren't retirement communities then, so he was building houses for families.
Yeah.
And I remember growing up, and I was with Sidney, and he was showing me pictures of houses he built in 1952, and I'm like, that's my best friend's house.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
It was neat to see that. But now we're going back to being able to build for all ages. We'll have senior communities, we'll have family communities, and schools in the area. That'll be great schools. So we're excited.
Now, when you mentioned the school, have they started? When do they see to break ground on that?
That will be later this fall.
Okay.
We don't have an exact date, but we will be sure and get that to you. And Robert, you can come on and we can talk about the groundbreaking.
Because I know we were discussing it a little bit more earlier in the year, and it was to the fall idea. And I know with everything that's been going on, that's caused a delay in a lot of things, and it's not been able. I think we were thinking by this time we would have concrete dates, but obviously with everything going on,
but we are moving quickly along with plans. So the design plans are really getting close to being ready.
Yeah.
And I know that, especially for the pool, I think that we're planning to
pool and school. Really, they're going to be simultaneously.
Yeah. Okay.
The FAST will take less time, I believe, in construction than the school.
Right.
But we will be, people will be jumping in the water at least early 2022.
And school will be open.
People will be coming to school in August of 2022. So.
That's been our goal from the beginning. So, we're, even though chaos happened throughout the world, but we're still moving forward, and that's a great thing for everybody, really. We have to move forward, have to get ready for life.
Absolutely, and we love that, because that's why I'm glad to have you in here, because that's what we're discussing is like, hey, we're moving on here, and I'm just glad to have you in the studio. That means there's progress here and just getting back to some normalcy here altogether. But that's a lot of good stuff. So just to reiterate, you've got FloridaFast.com. You also have IACAFlorida.org, as well as mycalessa.com. mycalesa.com. So a lot of places there to find the information that we've been discussing for the listeners out there, and also to the social media handles, which are good to probably do the up to the minute, up to date, information that you guys can find out. Man, that's a lot of good stuff, partner.
It is.
That's a lot of good stuff.
With we've got even events going on at Shalom Park today for kids, which is sign up only. But we're, again, back to the whole thing of we're looking to the future of trying to get life going again. And, with social distancing. But one of the interesting things we could talk about is just what is the school about. Is we've talked about project-based learning or programs that we're going to be looking to do, and how the classrooms are going to be set up. And Rebecca's really great at talking about that stuff. So we got a few extra minutes, so we can just talk about the excitement. I'm so excited about the school.
I was asked yesterday about in this the time that we're living in with needing distancing within schools.
Sure.
What is the academy going to look like? And we are in a really good position to be designing, because our classrooms are actually larger than the average classroom. Yeah. So they actually really are set up nicely for social distancing within the classroom. So our design is that project-based learning is really a curriculum that involves a lot of hands-on. They're building things and manipulating things and coming up with real-world problems and solutions as a team of students. So we are really looking into the the air conditioning systems, all of that. So we're in a place right now as we're designing to really consider those things.
Right, and in the learning style that we're looking to promote accommodates outdoor learning.
Yeah.
It's not standing in front of a chalkboard or a whiteboard, but also being outside and touching the world. And we also have the concept of opening up these garage door styles in a lot of the classrooms.
Yeah.
So you can let in the air.
So you can let in fresh air, you can be part of the outdoors.
Right. And just with your enthusiasm to this, you always try to find a silver lining or adapt to the necessity of what's happened. In a way, you can probably look at this and go with the design plans. You look at it in a positive way from everything that's happened. That changes the scope of what you want the design to be, because now you can implement, because you haven't built it yet, you can implement the changes or the adaptations that need to happen considering what we've gone through already with COVID-19. You can set it up to design it the way that's going to be better for the future with what we've already experienced to have
and
that
we are
again.
in a good position because, in any industry, you want to have best practices, right? You hear that a lot. But I also think there are lead practices, and I think that we're able with our academy to show in education with schools that we can be a lead practice in design and implementation of programming of how really the best educational experience, not only for students, but for their families and for the teachers that are involved as well.
So you think about that, that means like a bigger class, what we were talking about, but even like the cafeteria area, there's a big section outside, so people could sit outside the cafeteria and eat and enjoy it, and that way, you've got much more fresh air and more circulation, so that's, for anything, whether it's the flu or just enjoying life a little more. It's just... It's a better design.
Sunshine State, baby. You want to take advantage of some of it, right? Yeah.
And the same thing with the pool, because we are hoping that more people want to swim because you can be outdoors, you can get your exercise.
Right.
And that's being designed that well as well. So we're excited about that.
Yeah, having those opportunities there, which is great. And I think we've talked about it before. Is just like I think the changes that are coming to education, or at least like you said, kind of being the leader in that, and knowing that in some instances, a lot of classrooms are as they were about 75 years ago, kind of like you said. There's the chalkboard, there's the desks. Even the desks, I think, are that old. From when I was in school, I remember it was the same desk that my dad and my mom sat in. Good Lord. But you can see those changes that can be happening that we need now that we're in a new decade, now 2020, moving forward. That's a lot of good stuff there. Yeah. Excellent.
There's a lot of good things coming in for Marion County.
Absolutely. We do have a few more minutes left, partner. If there's anything else you want to chime in, I know these were the two hot topics that you want to discuss, but was there anything else coming up that you wanted to share?
Shalom
Well,
Park and what's going on this week?
So Shalom Park, this week we've got basically we call it Little Leaf, Lil Leaf, and you can look it up. And it's you had to sign up, register for it, because we obviously have to do our social distancing and keep kind of class size limited. But we're doing on Monday we had a series where we had 3 different sessions, and we had 30 kids, and you had a lecture, like a show and tell on bees, learning about bees, and those people brought their hive, and it was a discussion on that. We did a nature scavenger hunt, nature hike together, and we did like painting rocks.
So a
lot of little 30 minutes here, 30 minutes there, and then a story time by Marion County Public Library. And we did that in the formal garden. So it was a really cool day, 2 hours, and parents were there with their kids, but everybody was separated.
Sure.
But you got outside, your kids got to be outside, they got to be learning, they got to be interactive with the world.
Yeah.
And my kids who were a little bit older, my 2 younger ones, 9 and 11, even though it was kind of geared for a little bit younger, they even had a great time.
Yeah.
So it was something fun. And today we've got another session. I think it's on reptiles. And it's going to be similar, another scavenger hunt, a session of learning about reptiles. And then on Friday, we also have bugs. I may have got those backwards. Bugs are today, Friday is reptiles. But, just great things coming. So then in October, we typically did this big event called Fun at the Park, and it was Let's Get Buggy event.
Yeah.
And the last couple of years, we had thousands and thousands of people. Well, that's not going to be doable this year with something like that. So we're doing kind of a Let's Get Buggy 2.5, and we're going to have much smaller sessions. It'll be kind of similar today, but bigger, and it'll be outside, but a lot more events, and we'll have signups for that. So we're also looking to do possibly outdoor movies. At night, obviously night movies, starting in November, and we have Park After Dark, which will be coming back. We did that last year through Master the Possibilities. It was our we did a musical strings event. We did an astronomy thing where we got to see the rings of Saturn. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
If anybody's ever seen the rings of Saturn through a telescope, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
You realize how small you are.
Yeah.
So all kinds of great events. We had a storytelling that we did. This year we're going to be doing similar kind of things like a campfire, and Mark Smythe will be playing guitar and singing songs, and it'll be sing-along. So those kinds of things to look for on our Facebook page and our website to look forward to the future coming up.
And again, you can see the thread of the Colen family, sort of their dream and their legacy is things, enjoying nature, being outside. Yeah. That's going to be obvious in all of the initiatives that we take, even in Calessa. So you sort of see that, woven throughout. So it's exciting.
Yep.
Excellent. Well, guys, we appreciate it as we made our way towards the bottom of the 9 o'clock hour. We thank you very much for coming in, partner. Like I said, it's good to see you again. And now, like we said, just the conversation about what we're seeing ourselves move through to the future, which is good stuff, moving forward, which is important. So, again, just for more information, like David had mentioned, saying a few websites, floridafast.com, and that's for the natatorium and the concept. You can see the pictures on there. And then IACAFlorida.org, and then also for that community, mycalessa.com, MyCalesa.com. And for Robert, Rebecca, nice to meet you, Rebecca. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We're coming to the bottom here as we say more show coming your way. Stay tuned. AM Ocala Live, WOCA Ocala, back after this.
News. I'm Lillian Wu. President Trump says he may take action himself as coronavirus relief negotiations inch forward on Capitol Hill, where Republicans have rejected the president's call for a payroll tax cut.
I may do it myself. I have the absolute right to suspend the payroll, to do the payroll tax, and we call it a payroll tax suspension.
President joining Fox and Friends this morning, also touching on issues ranging from the pandemic to mail-in voting.
It's a very complex process. So Nevada, we're in court. We'll see how it works out. But if it doesn't work out, you're not going to know the November 3rd election results. I'm talking for the country. It could be for months and months. I mean, actually, it could be for years.
Some critics calling it unconstitutional as the Trump campaign and RNC sue Nevada to try and stop its new mail voting law, calling it unsecure, saying it'll undermine the integrity of the November elections. America's listening to Fox News.
They had snuck in the night and committed these murders. Nobody had a clue about who or a why.
You got 8 people dead, and things like that don't usually happen in a small town. I mean, they don't usually happen anywhere, and it was just a real shock.
4+ years after these murders, and they couldn't have written a more sinister story than what's playing out in Pike County, Ohio right now.
Listen to the Piketon Massacre wherever you get your podcasts.
Work at home. Work out at home. Second period math at home. Date night at home. Lately, we're doing a lot more at home, which means we're doing a lot less driving. With pay-per-mile car insurance from Allstate, you get the same reliable coverage you'd expect, but only pay for the miles you drive. Drive less, save more with Allstate. Visit allstate.com or call an agent for a quote.
Price based on driving behaviors and includes a daily rate, subject to terms, conditions,